Jesus freak here. Now, it looks like either YouTube's algorithm started favoring my atheism video, or it just went viral. I have no idea which is the case. And it did give me a chance in the comments to point out that I was aware of a lot of the traps that we fall into when trying to reach out to non-believers. And I admit I fall into some of these traps myself. I specifically brought up a verse that's often used by some of us, and it's misused in its context. That is to say, it's one of those verses that everyone takes out of context. And everyone gets the meaning wrong. But they like to use the verse because it's a good soundbite. And the most obvious example of this is Hebrews 11:1, where a lot of people take the verse somewhat out of context in its KJV form, which is, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Of course, that's going to result in people saying, faith is evidence of things not seen! And of course, every single non-believer is going to slam them for it, rightly so. Because to a non-believer, it's not going to convince them, and it's going to just make them look like a fool. And that's why I don't like that translation of that verse, even though, I try not to evangelize with versions other than the King James. Because I have the opposite issue, which is that some people will actually shut down when I don't use the King James. I was looking around because I have sort of an ocean of Bibles that kind of, ebbs and flows. And I was hoping I was going to find my own translation. But in the end, I figured, this RSV probably says it better than I can. Now, the RSV's translation of this verse is, now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen, which makes a lot more sense in its context than the KJV verse, and you're not going to get stomped by unbelievers for using it that way. And this doesn't happen to be one of those textual issues that the RSV has. This is actually a difference in translation of the same words. You see, I admit that I actually prefer the RSV over the King James apart from textual issues. But my position kind of forces me to use the King James. And I do have reasons why I tell others to do the same. But proof texting off the KJV is honestly not a very good idea and just doesn't work very well. And you're going to get slammed every time you do it around someone who doesn't believe. So you're going to need to be careful when you rely on that. Jesus, freak out.